Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. In case you forgot, I'm Lord Cicero the Great. This is the Southeast Kingdom Podcast. And like I said, welcome back. All right? Life has been lifing. And in the midst of all of that, I let things slip. It's been a long time since I recorded an episode for this podcast. I've had work and being a dad and being a grandpa, manpaw. My grandsons call me manpaw. And I had a failed relationship along the way. So, yeah, I lost focus, but I'm back because I realized I missed this. I miss coming on here and talking to you guys about whatever comes up in the world as far as TVs and movies and dating and politics and whatever else. And I like to think you guys missed me too. So I'm going to make more of an effort to be here week after week. And with no further ado, let's get into it. All right? Cool. So what the hell are we watching? And this is not a question on that particular show you're watching or what particular show I'm watching. I'm talking about From. What the hell are we watching? Now, I feel like I'm asking the same question as a lot of other people across social media that enjoy From, because we're all in the same boat, having the same thoughts. What is the resolution? Where are we going? Because so far, there is no resolution in sight for what's going on in this show. Now, for those of you who don't know what From is, you've never seen a single episode of it, From is a sci-fi horror show on the MGM Plus app about these people that are stuck in a town. They will all have the same story. They were traveling along the highway, came to a tree in the road, turned around to go around it, ended up in the town, can't get out. Some of them have been stuck for decades. I think the longest person that's been stuck there is Victor. Victor came there when he was a child with his mother and his sister. Victor's now 55 years old. So he's been there longer than anybody. And while they're stuck in this town, there are these supernatural shape-shifting creatures that live underground. And at night, these creatures come out of the woods and they will kill anybody that's outside. So you have to be in the house before dark. And inside the house, in everybody's front door, there's a talisman on the wall that keeps these creatures from coming in. Now, if your talisman falls or you let them in, yeah, that's your ass. And the show is starred. The main star in the show is Harold Perrineau. Hope I'm saying his name right. If you don't know who I'm talking about, he played Michael Dawson in Lost back in the early 2000s. In 97, he was Augustus Hill in the HBO show Oz, the prison show. He was the guy in the wheelchair. Now, for me, his most notable role is from the Best Man movies and the Best Man Chronicles series on Peacock. He played Julian, a.k.a. Murch. Now, these people that are stuck in this town, everybody wants to go home. Let's get that straight. Everybody wants to go home, but some people are content with surviving because they've realized that some of the people who have these outlandish ideas of how to get out end up dead. They always end up dead. So people are cool. They're complacent to an extent with being where they are. And part of the complacency and why they are somewhat comfortable is there is an order established. There are rules. There are roles that everybody plays. Boyd, played by Harold Perrineau, he's the sheriff of the town. He has a younger guy named Kenny, who is his deputy. Kenny's mother runs the diner when the show starts. You have Father Cotry, who is the town pastor, minister. He even has his own church. There's a registered nurse named Christy, who is the de facto doctor. There is a bar with a bartender. Some of the comforts of real life, no internet, no television, none of that though. And no cars. I mean, there are some cars, but the cars are pointless because you can't get out of town. Now, there are some people as the show progresses and starts off that they're not complacent about being here and just surviving. They want to go home, and they're making active strides to go home. People like Jim, his wife Tabitha, and the tech billionaire Jade. They out here trying to investigate. They out here doing things to try to make sense of this place, try to figure out a way to get out of this place. And then you have Victor. Victor's been there the longest, like I said earlier, and Victor has seen all manner of things happen in this place. And he suffers from a buttload of trauma and PTSD. And so getting answers out of him, sometimes it's like pulling teeth, because even though he's 55, he has the mind of a child. And so a lot of things that he deals with them by drawing and coloring. And as we see these people go through this, we're wondering what's next. And I think that leads me to my frustration and a lot of people's frustration with this season. Where the hell is this show going? Because at this point, we're about halfway through season 4, and there is no resolution in sight. None. Every time these people make steps toward a positive thing or something happy happens, they end up getting pushed back. It's literal 2 steps forward, 5 steps back every time. And it happens repeatedly throughout the show. Season 1, Boyd walks through into a tree. There's a hole in the tree. He walks into this tree and he ends up in a tower. And there's this guy, this old guy chained to a wall. He touches Boyd and he transfers these worm-like creatures into Boyd's skin. And later on in the night, there's a confrontation between Boyd and one of the creatures. And Boyd cuts the creature's throat. He grabs the creature by the neck, and these things are in Boyd's skin, transfer through the wound into the creature and kill it. And this wards off all the other creatures that are there in that moment. They're like, what the hell? We ain't supposed to die. They supposed to die. And I'm going to get back to that creature in a second, the one that died. Jim and Jade get together and they build a radio antenna to try to get a signal out. And it works. They get the antenna built. Everything's going fine. And all of a sudden, there's a voice that speaks back. And in their excitement to hear another voice, the voice tells them, Jim, your wife shouldn't be digging that hole under your house. Next thing you know, Jim rushes home. Him, the bartender, and another guy ends up peeing under the house when it collapses. See? And I think one of the most happy moments of the show was season 3, Fatima's pregnancy. Everybody was excited for Fatima and Ellis. Boyd was about to have a grandchild. Everybody thought it was great. But then it twisted on us. It twisted in the most crazy way. Fatima's out here eating spoiled vegetables. She accidentally kills Tilly. Christy does a sonogram of her belly, and they don't find anything in there, but she's still walking around with a pregnant stomach. And then you have Elgin. Elgin's this young kid who comes in season 2, and he's having these visions. He's having these visions. He's seeing this mummified zombie-looking lady in a kimono. And she has him believing that if he does what she wants, it'll get everybody out. Everybody will get to go home. So he believes he's doing the right thing. And ultimately, he's not. He kidnaps Fatima, locks her in a cellar. Zombie kimono lady shows up and Fatima gives birth. Kimono lady takes the baby down into the tunnels where these things live. And then the baby turns into the creature, the smiling creature that Boyd killed back in season 1. Okay? Nothing good happens without something bad happening right behind it almost. And let me tell you, I love a good twist in a show. I love a good twist. I'm down for a twist, something I don't expect to happen. Season 3, episode 9, Game of Thrones. I hadn't read the books in completion yet, so I didn't know what was finna happen. But because the Starks were sitting around, Rob, his mama, Talisa, his wife, his army, everybody was having a good time except for Grey Wind. Grey Wind was in his cage losing his shit. People, the animals always know when fuckery is afoot. The animals know before we know, okay? And next thing we know, in all of the happiness and jovial and music playing, everything was good. Bam, Stark's army decimated. Rob, Talisa, Catelyn, dead. I was completely shocked. But I respect the twist. But it seems like in From, there's nothing but twist. Everything is a twist. Good thing happened, twist, bad shit happens. So where's the progression toward the resolution? How do we get to a place in this show where A, these people realize they're never getting out and they just have to deal with it, or B, they get out and go home? We don't know. Now, season 4 starts with tragedy and stupidity, in my opinion. At the end of season 3, we see Jim get his throat ripped out. And then, of course, when season 4 begins, we're right there. And he's killed by the man in the yellow suit. I'll get to him later. Let me tell y'all, the bag on the pole was a top 10 fake out for me. Because when they showed the bag on the pole in the middle of town, I knew Jim's body was in that bag. I knew it was in there. And Tabitha tells her children, Julie and Ethan, hey, go to the barn, check on the animals. And they get the bag down, and guess what? Jim's not in the bag. There's no human body in the bag. But the kids get to the barn, open the door, and there's their father's hanging body. I was not prepared. Top 10 fake out. I get it. And Jim's death, because Jim's a prominent member of the town, it sent shockwaves. And it seems like a number of people in that moment got dumber and started making really extra dumb decisions. Let's start with Julie and Randall. Now, if you remember, those of you who've seen it, Julie and Randall were 2 out of 3 people that subconsciously they were chained to walls and a tower and screaming and being tortured. And their physical bodies were at home, going through it, dying after they took a trip through the ruins. Julie gets the idea to Randall, hey, I'm going to go and walk through the ruins again because it's going to take me back in time. And when I go back in time, I can find my dad and help him avoid getting killed. Now, Julie doesn't have any idea how this is supposed to work, or if she finds her dad, well, how is she going to get him out? But she's going in half-baked because guess what? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, I guess. And Randall's really not feeling it, but I think Randall has a little semi-like crush on her. So he's going with it. And if he does have a crush on her, it makes me wonder, how old is he versus how old is her? I don't know. And of course, she goes through with it. She walks into these ruins, not once, but twice this season. And both times she's almost killed. Neither time the plan works. So you're risking your life for nothing. And I understand you're grieving, but let's be smart about it, okay? And then we have Ethan. After the death of his father, he gets the idea to go off into the woods at the late afternoon part of the day. Now, Ethan's a kid. He's grieving, so I give him a little bit of a pass. But I also, let's keep in perspective, though, Ethan. You're risking the life of everybody that has to come find you at this point in the day. And there are going to be some people that if we mount a rescue party, they're not going to want to come because they see what time of day it is. They're not going to go out there and put their lives on the line because you want to go out here into the woods. And grant you, he goes out into the woods and he has a moment with his father's spirit, which is a moment I'm really trying to figure out still, because in that moment, his father's spirit keeps looking off into the distance in different directions. I really want to know what that means. I feel like there's meaning behind that, but again, there's no progression to a resolution. So we don't know. We'll find out hopefully in the next 4 episodes. Now, let's get to the man in the yellow suit. The man in the yellow suit clearly is the big bad of this place. At this point, he appears to be the master behind the curtain, the wizard, so to speak. And he can operate in daytime, nighttime, doesn't matter. Talismans have no effect on him. And apparently, this is not his first time doing this, what he's doing, messing with these people. Victor sees the yellow suit. Let me stop. Let me go back. The man in the yellow suit morphs into a girl. And he puts himself in the car with somebody who's just getting to town and tricks the people into believing that, oh, this is my dad. And the man dies. He's a priest and he dies. And so everybody believes that she just lost her dad. She's going through this traumatic thing. But all along, she's the man in the yellow suit. She's the big bad. He's a terrible creature. And when he ditches the yellow suit before he turns into the girl, at some point, Victor and company find the yellow suit. And at the sight of the yellow suit, Victor goes, shit. His PTSD kicks in. He pees on himself. And we find out that he remembers the man in the yellow suit. He remembers the man in the yellow suit from when him and his family got there. And how the man in the yellow suit showed up just like everybody else in a car. Which leads me to ask the question or make the assumption that the man in the yellow suit, every cycle, I guess, or every time he goes through this, he comes into the town as somebody different. And everybody thinks that he's just a normal person. So previously he was the man in the yellow suit. This time he's the girl who priest is a daddy. I mean, daddy is a priest. But that's not what it is. And it is my belief. And the man in the yellow suit has befriended Sarah. And I think that's a bad move on his part because Sarah has been touched by this place like nobody else. And I think if anybody figures out that she's up to no good, it's going to be Sarah. I'm just hoping that when Sarah does figure it out, she doesn't give herself away because then she's going to get killed. But the man in the yellow suit is out here making moves. He tried to get Kenny killed in one episode. And in episode 6, she, I guess, because it's a girl now, put drops of his blood in Henry's drink, Victor's dad. We don't know how that's going to affect him in the long run. And then one of the characters that I truly loathe is Danny Acosta, the young police officer who came in season 3. I didn't like her from the start because she came in, and I get it in the first, when she first shows up, she sees these things, these creatures, they kill 2 people. She starts shooting at them. And of course, bullets don't affect them. And she ends up killing somebody in the midst of trying to stop these creatures the only way she knows how. And the whole time she's been there, she's been in denial about getting out because she believes there's a way out and she's going to find it. And after the death of Jim, she snaps. She takes the ambulance and just drives off. And Christy jumps in the ambulance, and she's just driving in circles at high speeds around the town, convinced that if she does this, she's going to find a way out, and she's not. And at this point, she really wants to commit suicide. And Boyd knows this, but Boyd won't allow it. He locks her up in the jail for a little bit. And then after that, he puts her in the basement of Colony House to just do meaningless, menial tasks to keep her busy. And we have 2 of the people that I truly love in this show because I think they are really trying to figure it out. Like I said earlier, Jade and Tabitha. They figured out that they've been to this place multiple times in past lives and they never get done the job that they're supposed to do, which is save the children. And now Jade in this season he goes on this mushroom trip. And in this mushroom trip, he sees 4 or 5 of his past lives. He sees himself as a child, and he goes into the tunnels. And when he comes out of the tunnels, he wakes up. He thinks they've been through this whole thing, but they never left Boyd's jail. They was been there the whole time. All of this was going on in his head. And because of what happened, he believes that if they go into the tunnels and find the bones of the children that were killed, it will somehow get them out of there. And he's not sure it's going to get them out of there, but right now, it's the only plan they have. It's better than nothing. But me personally, I trust Jade. I trust Jade because he's out here doing the things. He's working it out in his head. He has a plan. If you look at his wall, he got all types of stuff on the wall. He's a true conspiracy theorist, but he's working through it. And I love that about him. Now, one of the creepiest episodes of this season has been episode 5. And when episode 5 airs, Donna, Tabitha, Ethan, and a couple other people from Colony House, they go off to the settlement. And that's where there's, food growing. And they go to get some food to bring it back. And Ellis also goes with them. And in the midst of it, they pull something out of the lake. These life-size dolls, look like Raggedy Ann dolls. And they're like, why would these dolls be in the water? And they kind of figure out maybe these dolls are in the water to keep something in. They're like a scarecrow to keep whatever in the water in there. It's, and so they put the dolls back. And later on in the night, it gets creepy. They got the talisman up in the cabin at the settlement. They're scared, but they believe, hey, we got the talisman. We'll be fine. And all of a sudden, everything goes from we're good to we're not good because the Raggedy Ann dolls come out of the lake and they are on 10. Okay? They bust through the walls of the cabinet. Talisman be damned. Killed one guy, and it's like, damn, first we had to worry about the creatures that the talisman keeps away from us, but now we got these things that the talisman don't really give a fuck about. And Tabitha ends up using one of the totems from the settlement and kills one of them. And when she kills one of them, the other two back off, which is reminiscent of Boyd killing the creature in season 1. Because when Boyd killed one of them, they backed off. They were like, okay, hey, let them make it. Let them ride. And so that's where we are. And also in episode 6, a very not too eventful episode, but the one thing that truly tugged at my heartstrings in episode 6 is Donna has a heart attack. Now, Donna is without a doubt, if Boyd is the main one in charge, Donna is like to 1A. Or Boyd is 1A, she's 1B. Because Boyd is in charge of the people who live in town, and Donna's in charge of Colony House. Now, Donna leans on Boyd a lot because Boyd's the sheriff, and she looks to Boyd for answers, but he looks to Donna for support. And when she has her heart attack, Boyd is shaken. And I think he's more shaken than anybody else because I don't believe, and he says it in the episode, I can't do this without you. And I truly believe he can't. Because let's keep it a buck. Boyd is white knuckling this entire situation at this point. This thing is so far from going so close to going off the rails. It's unbelievable. And if he loses Donna, ain't no telling what's going to happen. Now, me personally, I don't think, and I hope to God I'm wrong. I hope God hears me. I hope to God I'm wrong, but I don't think Donna's going to survive this season. I don't think the heart attack is going to kill her because she's already waking up from the heart attack, but I think something is going to take her out. And it was based off that small conversation between her and Ethan at the settlement. Ethan makes it like, whenever you're around, Donna, I feel like everything's going to be okay. I feel like we're good when you're around. And so that seems to foreshadow her death to me. But the main thing I want to stress about this episode is that, and this season, is where the hell are we going? Will there ever be resolution? Will there ever be a moment where these people are good? Will they get to go home? Will there be any signs that they're moving in a positive direction toward going home? We don't know. MGM is not giving us anything. And it's beginning to be so frustrating as a fan of the show, because you want to watch a great show, and From is a great show, but as you're watching the show, you want to see progression. You want to see us move toward a positive thing. And so far, that's not happening in From. But there are 4 episodes to go in this season. So maybe, just maybe, in those 4 episodes, everything will come to fruition for us before the season finale. We just have to wait and see. But let's switch gears, because I got something else I want to talk about. June is about to be a very hot month. And I ain't talking about the weather, okay? I'm talking about the movie theater. I'm talking about TV, because there is some great things releasing in the month of June. And there are about 7 things that is on my radar that I'm definitely going to be watching and partaking in at the movie theater and on the comforts of my couch. And I'm going to tell y'all about those 7. And I'm going to rank them in what I'm going to enjoy the least up to what I'm going to enjoy the most. So let's start off June 7th, Sunday, this coming Sunday, Vampire Lestat. Now, if you've been enjoying Interview with the Vampire, season 1, season 2, like me, you're looking forward to this, because the Vampire Lestat is technically season 3, even though the Vampire Lestat comes from its own novel, came out in 1985 on my bookshelf behind me. And the Vampire Lestat has always been a response to the character Daniel Malloy, who interviews Louis in Interview with the Vampire. Vampire Lestat is Lestat's response to that book. And in the story, if you've seen the movie, Queen of the Damned back in the day, or read the book, Lestat creates a rock band, and it gets popular, and he uses it as a effort to set the record straight, because Interview with the Vampire makes him look like this existential threat bad guy. And Lestat is like, say, bro, let me tell my story. Let me put it out there. Let me show y'all what I'm really about. And that's what the Vampire Lestat is about. And he also, in true Lestat form, he outs the vampire community, which of course pisses off a lot of the vampires, because part of the thing that helps their survival is their secrecy. And Lestat is letting everything out. So season 3, Interview with the Vampire, is going to be great. Or you can call it season 1, Vampire Lestat. Either way, tune in. Number 2, Scary Movie 6. Now, I checked out of the Scary Movie franchise when the Wayans checked out. Once the Wayans were gone, I was done. So when I heard that the Wayans were coming back for part 6, Marlon, Sean, Regina Hall, I'm excited. I'm excited because I love the first 2 movies. I love those movies so much that I watched them so many times. The dude with the little messed up hand in part 2, his character's going to be in it. It's going to be really good. I think so. And it's one of those movies that, even though it's like part 6 of a franchise, it has the potential to blow up. Normally, by the time we get to a part 4, part 5, things are falling apart. Unless you're Star Wars or Star Trek or something like that, Lord of the Rings. But this has the potential to just really be great. And I'm excited for it. The OG cast is back. Like I said, Marlon, Sean, Regina, Anna Faris, I'm sorry. They're all there. It's going to be great. Number 3, another franchise that has a ton of movies, but this franchise comes off like this is arguably one of the most successful franchises out there as far as animated goes. And I'm talking about Toy Story 5. I'm a huge fan of Toy Story from the first one all the way up to the 4th one. After the 2nd one, I said it can't get any better. And then 3 was good. 4 was okay. Now we're here for 5. And I'm excited about it because it's introducing a new element. Every time we get to another Toy Story movie, of course, there are new toys added to the story. And this time in Toy Story 4, as time goes by, you know, toys get a little extra techy and tricky, and this plays into that because we have new toys. That one is a tablet. We have a GPS themed hippo. We have a technology riddled toilet training apparatus. All of these new toys in part 5. And the tablet, also known as Lily Pad, is the quote unquote enemy for our band of good toys. So I'm really looking forward to it. You're going to see the new toys on the block. It's going to be a good time. Number 4, DC Comics is bringing the heat. And they're giving us their newest installment to the new universe, Supergirl. Played by Millie Alcock. And y'all know Lord Paramount loves him some Lily Alcock, a.k.a. Rhaenyra Targaryen, in season 1 of House of the Dragon. And if you know the character Supergirl, Kara Zor-El, she's a little unhinged. She doesn't have the restraint of her cousin Kal-El, aka Superman. So she's off the rocker sometime. And this movie is her and Crypto, her dog, going through the galaxy, having a good time, and ending up on a path of revenge. And it's going to be a good time. We got Jason Momoa in it, who in the old DC universe played Aquaman. Now he's back in this one, and he's playing Lobo. And if anybody can play Lobo and pull it off right, I believe it's Jason Momoa. I'm excited. Supergirl, June 26th. Oh, and I forgot, Toy Story, June 19th. Number 5, Season 2, Avatar, The Last Airbender. The live action starts June 25th on Netflix. And I love this show so much. I am a huge fan of the original animated show. And what I really love about this live action show is they're really keeping up with the animated show. They're putting it there, and they're not making a bunch of ridiculous changes. They're just saying, hey, this is what happened in the animated, and we're going to adapt it to the live action. Is everything going to be adaptable? No. But the vast majority of what happens in the animated is showing up in this live action series. And season 2, from the trailer I've seen, there will be no exceptions. Season 2, we got Zuko, who's in exile in his full blue demon thing. We're going to meet Toph as Avatar Aang is searching for a earthbending teacher. And we're going to have the Battle of Ba Sing Se. We got everybody. Uncle Iroh is back. We got Princess Azula, evil self, of course, is going to be there. And I'm going to tell y'all something about this Avatar Season 2 Last Airbender. If we don't get the assault on the palace in live action at Ba Sing Se, I'm going to be livid. Throw the whole season away. Because without a doubt, when Aang, Toph, Katara, Sokka, when they attack the palace at Ba Sing Se, It was the most epic thing about season 2. And they have to put that in there. Like, there's no way possible to leave that out of this season, because you had Aang was doing his thing, Katara was doing her thing, Toph was just bananas, okay? And Appa was just walking behind them, aura farming, because wasn't nothing touching him. It was just that good. And if that's not in season 2, throw the whole season away. Okay, number 6. We're getting close to the end of this list. June 21st, HBO Max, House of the Dragon Season 3. Now, y'all know Lord Paramount. The majority of my content is Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon related. And I'm so happy for Season 3. It seems like it takes almost 2 years for us to get a new season from House of the Dragon. So I'm excited. I'm so excited. June 21st is coming. And season 3 is going to be chaos. It's going to be utter and complete chaos. And I need a lot of people to understand something about House of the Dragon. That's the way they've built these 4 seasons. The first season of House of the Dragon was set up. First season was intro. Second season setup. Third season is going to be utter freaking chaos. I mean, they're literally starting the season off with the Battle of the Gullet. And the Battle of the Gullet features not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 dragons. 5, okay? That's going to be epic. And as we look at the trailer, we see, we're not sure exactly where season 3 is going to end, but we're definitely going to get Rhaenyra taking King's Landing in season 3. I'm excited for House of the Dragon because that is without a doubt my favorite show on TV within the last 3-4 years. And House of the Dragon really has a special place in my heart because House of the Dragon is where my following on TikTok blew up. I did one review, I think it was episode 4, season 1, and boom, overnight. It was like my followers, my videos was going through the roof. So House of the Dragon is really special to me. Season 3, June 21st, is the beginning, and I'm excited for it. Before I get to number 1, we also have to remember we still got 4 episodes of From to go. And I hate to go back to that, what we just talked about, but hopefully we're going to get some resolution. But the number one show / movie coming out in June that I'm excited to see, June 5th, today, tickles me in such a way. It just makes me giddy as a kid born in the 80s. Masters of the Universe live action, June 5th. I have the power. And let me tell y'all something. I have been a He-Man fan since I was a kid. Okay? I've been such a... He-Man is the reason I have a sword collection right now. Because my love for swords started with He-Man's power sword. I even had a toy version of it as a kid. I had He-Man, I had Skeletor, I had Battle Cat, I had Castle Grayskull. I had all the He-Man toys as a kid. And I'm just going to say it. I know a lot of people feel like the live action He-Man movie, Dolph Lundgren, came out in 87. A lot of people think it's trash. I'm going to tell you, for me, I enjoy it. To this day, I still enjoy it. I enjoy it, but I also critique the hell out of it. Because I'm legitimately bothered about that one, that there was no Battle Cat, there was no Orko, Castle Grayskull looked like shit, He-Man was wearing a cape, he was never Prince Adam at any point in the story. Who the fuck is Gwildor? They subbed out, they took Orko out, put Gwildor in. All of that just irked my spirit. And that whole let's go to Earth for half of the movie didn't click with me at all. But I promise you, I will randomly turn that movie on and I will watch it with full entertainment. So, as much as I had critique it, I love it. And this new one is such a long time coming. I mean, they've been talking about a new live action He-Man movie for the last, 15, 20, almost 30 years since the last one in 87. They've been talking about this since 2000 almost. A new live action He-Man. They finally got a script. They finally got actors, and it's finally releasing today in the theaters. And it's going to be everything that we want it to be. We have Prince Adam. We got a Man-at-Arms. We got Tila. We got Jared Leto as Skeletor. Let me tell you something. Jared Leto, don't you fuck this up. Now, Jared Leto has a bad reputation in Hollywood of taking characters and ruining them. Morbius, and the list goes on and on. Joker. But from what I've seen in the trailers, I really feel like he's going to nail Skeletor. Is he going to nail Skeletor as good as Frank Langella back in 87? No way possible. Frank Langella killed it as Skeletor back then. He was a great Skeletor in a terrible He-Man movie. But I think Jared Leto is going to be fine. We got a Battle Cat in this movie. Oh, I'm excited. Now, I will say this. There are some people out there that have issues with this He-Man movie because they think it's going to be woke. Because there's one part in the trailer where the nameplate says he, him with the pronouns, and everybody lost their shit about it. Now, here's what I have not seen. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but here's what I have not seen. And I'm happy about it. It makes me feel like we as a people, we are not that far gone as I thought we were. I haven't seen anybody truly upset, truly mad, truly angry about Idris Elba playing Man-at-Arms. Okay? And I love that. Because historically, as far as the movies go, well, that one movie, and all the animated shows, Man-at-Arms has always been a Caucasian male. But in this movie, he's Idris Elba. He's black. And normally when you change a fictional character like that, people go apeshit nuts. Like they did with Ariel and the live action Little Mermaid. And I say then, the same thing I'm going to say now. Man-at-Arms, for anybody who's really bothered about it. Like I said, I haven't seen it, and I'm sure if I go looking for it, I'll find it. But for anybody that's bothered about a black man playing a traditionally white character in Man-at-Arms, please remember this. Man-at-Arms is a fictional character. A fictional character can be played by anybody. Why? Because they're not real. Let's keep that in mind. But these are the 7 things coming out in the month of June that I'm excited about. It's going to be one hot ass month. It's going to give me content. I'm going to be on here talking about this to y'all. And it's going to be a good time. But you know what? It's time. It's time for my favorite part of this podcast. And let's go to it. Today, in things worldly, but not nerdy. Politics has always been a messy world. But it keeps getting messier. Like, as the years and years go by, politics just keeps getting worse. And I think politics is worse now than it's ever been in the history of this country. And I want it known, I'm not here to condemn Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, liberals, left or right. I think there's plenty of blame to go around on both sides. Now, it's no secret, I'm not a fan of the current president of the United States. I'm just not, for a number of reasons. He campaigned on no new wars, among other things. But here we are, in another war in the Middle East. It's almost like the American government cannot be happy unless we're in some conflict in the Middle East. And this time it's Iran. And the gist is that we can't let Iran get a nuclear weapon. Bruh, there was a deal in place set by a previous administration that was keeping them from getting a nuclear weapon. But, of course, his supporters would have you believe that, oh, Iran wasn't honoring the deal. Okay, whatever. And the Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu, he continues to claim that Iran is so close to getting a nuclear weapon. Like, he's been screaming this at every president since 1995. Iran is 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away from a nuclear weapon. And then last summer, we bomb Iran's nuclear facilities, and that's it. Their nuclear program is done. And yet here we are again, bombing Iran because of their possible nuclear capabilities. At some point, when do we understand that we're being lied to? Netanyahu is lying. The president is lying. His cronies are lying. And I can't take it anymore. All right? When will it be over? They don't know. They keep saying, oh, there's a deal coming. There's a deal coming. They've been saying this since February. It's June, and we're still there. The fighting, the bombing, it's still happening. The Strait of Hormuz is still closed. We're blockading a blockade. I don't get it. I don't like it. The funny thing is, while all of that is going on, we as Americans, we're over here struggling with high-ass gas. And now, here in Texas, gas was over $4, well over $4. Now, I'll admit, it's going down. It's about $3.40, I think I saw today. But two things. I'm not excited about that at all. One, because I know $3.40 can turn into $3.90 in the blink of an eye, at the snap of fingers. I think it was a couple of months ago, March, April. I'm on my way to work. Looked at the gas price at 7-Eleven on the corner. It was $3.50 or so. QT down the street, about the same. Every gas station down Interstate 35 on my way to work was about 5 cents off from what I originally saw. On my way coming home from work, about 2:15 p.m., gas went from around $3.50, $3.55 to about $3.80, $3.90. And I'm like, what the fuck? It jumped 35, 40 cents in 8 hours. So I know how that $3.40 can change in the blink of an eye. And the number two thing that I mainly remember about high prices, and that's whether it's gas, groceries, or anything that we as consumers consume, is that once prices go up, they never come down. I've learned that in my nearly 43 years on this life, on this planet, that when prices get high, they tend to stay high. They may come down a little bit to make you feel better, but they never return to where they started. That is reality. You know how people like to say there's lots of pee, copious amounts of pee in the dating pool. I don't think so. I think you just continue to dive in dirty water and expect a different outcome. They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. But for some reason, nobody applies that to dating. You continue to date the same type of person, same kinds of people, and your results continue to be trash. Continuously. Now, we all have a type. Now, I got a type. Average height, built thick, white toenails, pretty feet, cute in the face. That's my type, okay? And a lot of times when we think about our type, the first thing is initial physical attraction. That's what gets us. And a lot of us, we have these rigid ideals of what we want our person to have. They got to check all these boxes. I used to talk to somebody that I worked with. And when I say talk, I mean just general conversation. And she used to talk about the kind of guy she wanted. And she had all these attributes wrote on legal paper. And that's that long yellow paper. That's how long her list was. And I told her, I said, if you find a guy that checks all these boxes, he's going to have one irredeemable flaw that's going to ruin the whole list. And she thought I was, being an ass or whatever. And I said, okay, I'm just being honest with you. And a few months go by and she comes back and she's like, oh, I met this guy and he's this and he's that and everything was just great. And I'm like, cool, wonderful, I'm happy for you. Now the pessimist in me knew, it's going to go left. But it's reality. You can call it pessimism, but it's reality. 4 months go by. And she comes to tell me, and a couple of coworkers were all having a conversation. She says that the guy she met, shit went left because she found him watching tranny porn. I'm not lying. You can't make this up. Tranny porn. That's what she found out about him. And it ruined the entire ride. And so a lot of times, like I said, we look for these physical attractions and we get these physical attractions and they got a few intangibles. We want the intangibles. I like one that's smart. She kind of funny. She likes watching TV, maybe a little nerd and, it works. But a lot of times we are so stuck on the type of person we want, the type. We got this type of, Lord Paramount, I like what I like. Yeah, but where has it gotten you? Has liking what you like gotten you to that fulfilling relationship you desire? No. You're stuck in this loop where you meet this person. He's your type or she's your type. We in a 3-4 month relationship, maybe even longer. And then boom, disaster happens. You take 6 months off from dating and you're right back in the same loop all over again. Same thing over and over. So what I'm saying here is, why not break the cycle? I'm not saying you should try dating someone that is the polar opposite to what you like, but try dating somebody that has some differences. That's not exactly what you always date. You may find a different result. Let me give you some statistics. 40% of people in relationships report that their partner is not their type. 57% of couples agree with the notion that opposites attract. 56% of adults have dated someone solely based on their type and then realize that person is entirely wrong for them. 62% of women, 54% of men admit they have rejected someone because they're not their type. So if the majority of us, 62% of women, 54% of men, are rejecting people because they're not their type, how can we ever truly find somebody that is meant for us? If the majority are rejecting the rest of us, then we're kind of screwed. All I'm saying is break the cycle. Try something different. Because when you try something different, you might find out it's good for you. Perfect example for me, I ridiculed 2 of my coworkers the other day because they like blueberry donuts. I said, blueberry donuts is trash. I had never had a blueberry donut in my life. But I was going to the donut shop. And I went to the donut shop. And I got what everybody wanted. And one of them wanted a blueberry donut. And I said, give me 2 blueberry donuts. And warm one of them up. I'm going to try it. Y'all, that blueberry donut was fire. It was so fucking good. And that's the same thing you could apply to your relationships. Try something different. Break the cycle. And guess what? That person that you break the cycle with might be fire. You get what I'm saying? But y'all, that is my time for this week. I'm Lord Paramount, Lord Cicero the Great, and I promise I'll see y'all next week. Holla.